Hey friends, notice anything different here? Or how about over here? Don't notice anything different here? Alright, how about this? How extra does this look? Testing out selfie stick, because I just got one of these too. Hey friends, if we haven't met before, my name is Kiri and I am the flower farmer here at Dew and Bloom Flower Farm here in Western Washington, Zone 8A. And after a small break here in the month of May from YouTube, I am back. It is June 8th and I am ready to give you some upgraded videos. Thank you all so much for your comments on my last video. I know it was a little bit whiny and I debated about posting it, but I just wanted to let you all know, that like we all have struggles and it's okay. And I don't want sympathy or anything like that. I just want to share that if you're having struggles, we're in the same boat. So hopefully that gives you faith and confidence to keep on keeping on. And I'm going to respond to everybody individually because I do really appreciate all of your feedback and you guys had some really great ideas for improving the farm. So I thought now that it's June, we should do a little walkthrough and I'll show you some things that have changed. First of all, I have a lav mic here, which this is kind of an interesting setup. So I bought this camera and it doesn't have a mic jack. So I can't plug in an external mic, which is absolutely terrible. But I now have this iPhone and I don't now have this iPhone. I am using Voice Memo for this mic and recording external audio, so hopefully the road noise is a lot quieter. It only cost me 30 bucks, so I'm kind of happy with that. And I wanted to give you an update here on some of the hardy annuals that are doing awesome this spring. So Orlea, kind of actually loving it. I've got this whole bed, the butterflies love it too, and it is kind of a wilty girl when you harvest it, but if you let the main flower open up all the way and you don't worry about the side shoots, you can get a really good harvest out of these. So I'm loving this, definitely worth it. The white finch and the white lace or whatever it's called, they look exactly the same. I don't even think they're different, so don't worry about the variety. The ranunculus and the anemones, look, anemones going to seed. They are dormant, so I have been digging these. This is my last bed I need to do. Laying them out to dry, we'll trim up the greenery and then I'm going to store the roots over the summer so that we can plant them in fall because I'm on a budget and I'm not buying 80-cent corms again. Well, I am, but now I'll have double. I have to say I'm not even that sad that I am supposed to throw away these Italian ranunculus. I think I paid way too much for something that just didn't impress me. The amandine put out way more blooms than these did, so if you are on a budget, skip the Italian ranunculus. I am saving the tags and then laying them out on grocery bags that I have saved by variety. And I'm going to treat that with a fungicide. So I'm going to spray that with bonide copper fungicide or whatever it's called to make sure that we're good to go. I don't think you have to do that, but it is. So here is the old farm. Give you a little tour here on what we got going on. And I have decided to turn this all into vegetables this year for my personal use. So I got tomatoes and cabbage and potatoes and all of that out here, but there's some purple over there we can check out. Here is the agrosema. This is Purple Queen that I sowed in the fall, and it's been useful. It hasn't been incredibly useful, but I do like it, and it was one of the few things that survived slug attacks over here on my slug highway, aka landscape fabric. So I've been harvesting on this a little bit, and I've had a few volunteer daisies popping up, so harvesting those too. Some other cool things, I'm pretty sure this was Potomac, and it has kind of perennialized here, and I actually have one that's getting ready to bud up. So very happy to have some free plants. The feverfew has also perennialized, and then of course the yarrow has perennialized. That is right over here. Looking really good, and I even have some buds on some of these. So we're gonna have flowers so soon. Very excited about that. All right, and the reason why I showed you the fridge at the beginning of the video is because I'm sure you all know, if you followed me at all for a while, that I constantly complain about how I don't have a fridge or a cooler. Well, guess whose fridge stopped cooling cold enough to keep food at the safe zone in temperature right after tulip season ended? Yeah, this girl's. So let's see what the temperature is in here. Oh, it's 35 right now. For a while, when it was in our house with dairy products and meat and stuff in it, it was like 40 to 50 degrees. So I have a feeling this is going out, but if I can get a summer of decent coolness from it, I'll take it. So I now have a flower fridge, which is pretty cool. All right, traffic and wind. So ultimate test here on how the mic is doing. So I want to give you a little update on how the main farm is doing. So my winter sown cool flowers like feverfew and all my snaps are doing amazing. Some of these rudbeckia, sorry, now I'm having problems with this. Some of the triloba really had a hard time, but some of it is thriving. And then the rudbeckia is looking pretty good over there. And you may be wondering why I have this plastic out here. Well, I need more growing space. So I am doing the same thing I did last year, covering up the grass for a while. And then once it dies off, tilling it in by double digging. And then I'm going to have 19 rows, maybe 15 to 19, depending on how far I go back. And that'll be a lot more growing space. So I've got the mahogany splendor all planted out. The basil's down there, and then I direct sowed here the zinnias, which they're having a rough time, but I just keep going back and redoing it, so hopefully we'll get some growth eventually. Dahlias are coming along quite nicely. I actually ended up with 2 entire rows of dahlias. I don't know if I did my math wrong or what happened, but I'm not going to complain about it. So they are growing up very nicely. I'm looking forward to those blooms. I have sold 1 summer subscription, so I've got 2 different versions going. One is just dahlias and the other is mixed bouquets, and I sold a mixed bouquet CSA for Mother's Day. So we're getting ready for that. Still working on upselling that. In terms of sales, so I've noticed that the more mixed bouquets that I have, which I'm more able to do now that I have some perennials and some shrubs to cut on, the more sales I have. So I think that that is confirming my suspicion that people really like my bouquet design style. So I don't think that people come to me looking for flowers. They're looking for bouquets. My hunch is that that's part of the reason why straight tulip bunches weren't selling as well as once I had ranunculus and alliums, and then this last week I had orlea and roses, and they were absolutely beautiful bouquets. So that's what I'm thinking. So right now, you know, it's June and we're kind of in that awkward time between the spring flowers and the summer flowers. So this week I'll definitely kind of be scavenging up some bouquets. I'm guessing it's probably going to be more rose bouquets, but hey, people liked it. I'm going to plant another succession of sunflowers, and I'll see you when we prepare some bouquets for this weekend. Hello friends, it is Saturday evening and I am getting ready to open up the stand for tomorrow. So we're here at the rose bushes picking some beautiful David Austin roses. So some of these are way past pickable, you know, they're opened up, and even look at, oh yeah, see. So I do like to pick some like this in the bud stage, some like this, and then this is a really good point here that will open up and give you that cabbage look that you want. So I take this as an opportunity to cut and to deadhead. And I am a bad flower farmer, and I did not trim this up this winter. Whoops. So pretty. This mock orange has been super useful for me for the past couple weeks just for the greenery, and now it's budding up, so this is probably going to be the last time that I can use it in bouquets this year, but I'm not complaining because we love the buds. Let's see. Oh, I wonder if you can see this over here. This one is blooming. It looks beautiful. For the roses, I have this special tool. It is a thorn and leaf stripper, and I feel very official, but it does make life a lot easier. So it's super simple. You just run it down the stem. So now I don't have to deal with thorns and all that, which is lovely. So I will be here processing these beautiful David Austin roses. And then we'll go harvest some other stuff. I got this from Johnny's, and I think it was like 15 bucks maybe, 10 or 15, something around there. Definitely worth it if you deal with roses at all. All right, we're also gonna harvest this agrostemma, which, let's see here, has very nice long stems and beautiful sprays. So I think this will be nice, and we'll definitely harvest those daisies that volunteered back there. Look at all this amazing Orlea. I am really happy to have this. I've been relying on it a lot. And it reminds me a lot of Dara in the way that it branches and it just keeps pumping out blooms. And I think they are actually related. They're both like carrot type family. So I'm loving it. I mean, how could you complain about a big spray of flowers like this early in the season? I don't think you can. Well, I guess when they will. But if you harvest them right, you don't have to worry about that. It smells like carrots too. So Orlea is kind of funny because the way that it blooms, it has the first bloom here as the central one, right? So you can tell the petals are coming off that because that's already going to seed. And then it starts to shoot up more branches and they get taller. So I just cut off the dead one, and then I have a nice mature spray that won't wilt. Hacks. All right, the last thing we're gonna harvest are some of these volunteer bachelor buttons that just appeared here. It makes me really sad that they won't grow in the wildflower patch, but I mean, you know, it's like 15 feet away. Close enough, right? Sure. The last thing I'm going to harvest today are these Camassia. There's blue and there's white, and I really like how the blue opens up, and the white though is a little bit different. So see how it like opens one set of flowers at a time and then the rest die off. So it doesn't give you like that true spike effect. But I think I'm still going to use it just because it does have some little bits left and it does kind of have a spike effect, you know. So I mean, I still think that looks nice. Whoa, falling down the hill. I think that still looks nice even if it's not a spike necessarily. It still is flowers. I've gotten pretty decent at the lay and arrange with the recipe, so it is going a lot faster now to make bouquets because I can do a recipe. So I'm loving it. So this is the same thing that I did last week pretty much. So we've got mock orange greenery. Some of the sprays are different sizes, so you know, mix and match to kind of get the same amount of fullness here. And I don't have a big table, so I use my deck. Looks like we'll have enough for 5 bouquets potentially. Okay, so lay those out and then we just divvy it up. All right, 2 more of those. Let's see here. No. Oh no. And then I kind of try to do the same openness of flowers on each batch. So like one distribution of buds and then one distribution of open. You know how it goes. And then we just keep going. So my $20 bouquets get about 4 roses in them. Oh my gosh, I can't keep these in the bucket. Okay. And I've been putting quite a bit of Orlea in bouquets just because it is abundant here on the farm, and it does take up quite a bit of space. So it adds that fullness factor. So I ran out of the white camellia for that one, so instead I think I'll just do some daisies. I still have quite a bit of flowers left. So, should I throw in some agrostemma too? Yeah, why not? Everybody gets an agrostemma. Once I have these all laid out, then I go through and essentially do the spiral just to make sure that everything looks good. So, kind of like to start with the airy bits to make sure that they are nice and high and open. Okay, and then my shortest stems are the roses, so we got to make sure we incorporate those nicely. Whoop. And the roses have pretty weak stems, so I try to use some of the greenery to keep them up, but they don't behave most of the time. And then we repeat. Ta-da! Beautiful bouquets, huh? I'm liking it. All stocked up. Let's see how we do today. Alright friends, call it the YouTube effect because I sold nothing today. Seriously, every time I record my sales on YouTube, I don't make any sales. Last weekend I sold out of these bouquets. So I don't know. All these beautiful bouquets and no takers. So I think what I'll do is I'll go through and I'll probably take some of the roses out and backfill with some daisies and the agrostemma that I had left over and reset these up for tomorrow because it wasn't that hot today. So hopefully people buy them tomorrow. See you later. Alright, I'm just putting out a few of these I will probably restock later in the day with some that don't have roses. So we'll see how we do. Alright friends, opening up the box. Just 20 bucks today, one sale. I guess that's it. See you next week.